What's up, you grease monkeys? Today we're going to be working on fixing some stuff, or it's not really fixing, it's more like actually implementing it. Any frick. Let me give you a quick show of what's going on. Sorry for the shit camera angle. The last video I made before I took a day off because I did not sleep. Oh, this chair is so unwieldy. Okay, whoa, wait a minute. Did anybody catch that right at the start? I swear I saw... Hang on a second. I saw this for like a split second. It could be because the duck is all the way over here. Yeah. So what might have happened is, I don't know if you can see this right here. There is a duck that acts as the INIT. We spawn it in the room where the player is before the player spawns. We are doing that so that, well, it can work. The code needs to work. I might go back to having it spawn, like, the player collision spawns, then it spawns the INIT, and then it spawns the actual player. I'm going to see if that might work later on. I need to note that, so I'm going to do that so I know that I have to remember to note it. Okay, so what's the BFD? When the player enters into a room, it does a general snap to the size of the room, and it's not too good looking. It doesn't feel right. It's kind of jarring, and like it just kind of rips your eyes off of you. And I want to fix that. The main inspiration for this project is a combination of my loves, and that is a haunted house game, like the game Haunted House from Atari 2600, mixed with Legend of Zelda-esque styles, and Luigi's Mansion as a general, like, feel. Right now, what we're working on is polish. Some people, when they're playing Nintendo games, they'll call it Nintendo polish. But I'm not doing Nintendo polish, I'm doing general polish. We need to make the cameras function better. We fixed the issue in the last episode, or document, where the player, if he collided with this black space right here, it would act as if he was inside of this area, but as its own entity. Now, when we enter into the camera space, it functions properly, but the collision is still a little bit off, meaning that we're going to have to fix it some more. I might have to do, like, a manual thing for it. Like, it's detecting almost a little bit too soon. I'm going to try to figure that out. It might be something in the player code, or if I don't want to mess around with that too much, I might just edit the collision box. Because, like, the collision box for the sides of it seem to be working, like, that's working flawlessly, because it, like, these, when they're overlapping, they act as the same camera. So, the thing that we're going to be working on is what I'm going to refer to as transitions. Like, in Zelda, Link would... You know what? I'll just show you. Room transition example 1. Room transition example 2. Transition, 4 now? Alright, so I wrote some notes here, and there we go. Setting up the base code that the object cam boxes will draw from, meaning that there's going to be a base object, and this object is going to have all of the information in at once. If the player walks into this object, it's going to be pandemonium, because that shit will be active. And let's see, I gotta close this. It's an advertisement for something. Yeah. Alright, so what then is going to happen is each individual room will have switches in it. I can then say on or off, or true or false, and it will switch those rooms stuff on and off. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I want it to be so that other things can act on the rooms. Like, let's say you're inside of a dark room, right? And that dark room type, it can be altered by item interactions. Like when in Zelda Link to the Past, Link, he lights a torch and the room gets brighter by a small amount. That is a dark room that is being changed by a internal item by Link lighting a torch. Other such things, like, let's say the room is not shaking, but then you do something that makes the room shake. It switches the switch on, and then it won't turn off until you do something to switch it back off. That's the general idea. So, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be creating... I already have a few of them set up. I made, like, some base information stuff. We have the OBG cam, which has all the stuff I was telling you about it inside it. Oh, God. And then we have OBG Cam Red Room, which is a test room, OBG Cam Box, which is just another test. And then here's where we actually started doing the thing that we did last time. We made the split camera boxes, the SCB. We made LR up and down, and then we made the big base room. These act as different cameras onto themselves, but when combined together on the screen, act as one camera. That's the split camera box function. That code can also be added to other rooms as well if I want to. I just haven't figured out how to do that part yet. Bits and bobs. I don't know if I said this already, but the player is going to go from one room to another. So what needs to happen is the transition that happens between the rooms needs to be dictated by the room or the camera box that you're entering into. So let's say you are in this small, darker green box, and this camera transition box has the transition of snap, meaning that you just go from one to the other. Okay, well, this one right here has a Ztrans, so when you leave the snap room, it transitions like a Zelda game would transition. Like, it goes from one room smoothly to the other, pausing things and what have you. Then later on, I can add a room where it's an explosive entrance, or something like that, and if you go from one transition to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, it's like a marathon of different transitions, and so we're going to be creating a code that basically allows the player to be acted on by the camera boxes. Whoops, there it is. Alright, so that's what we're doing today. Woo, party! I have made a few objects similar to the dynamic camera system that makes the camera zoom in, fit the room, and will not let the camera exit that constraints, as well as the separated camera system, or the SEB. These rooms, they are titled Warm, Cold, and just a pair of eyes, because that'll be obvious later, Fog, Shake, Rain, and then that's it for right now. What's going to end up happening is that... God, I hope this works. This has actually been kind of a nightmare to work on. So, how this is working right now is there are a series of objects. Cam box Ztrans, the cam box Ztrans types, and then the cam box object itself. The camera box object is, let me smell. So this is the camera box object. That right there. That holds a lot of the code in this scenario. It's where two things are parented to it. The cam box, OBG Cam Red Room is parented to it. This is also where the toggle scripts for dark, cold, warm, whatever have you is kept. And then we have OBG Cam, which went from like 64 lines to 200 something lines. And this is also where some of the code is handled as well, like leaving all boxes resets room FX, it's resetting all of this. Then, let's see here, where's my thing? OBJ room FX, which is a separate thing that also needs to work in the background. This right here, let me look at my notes. I've been writing it down as I go along. let's see here. In the script, if it's set up subject to change, each cam box sets the starting defaults in this way. Switches our actors can alter the cam boxes. That's what this does. It allows for me to do stuff like that. Then we also had to basically create a set of variables that get called upon later on. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Right now, the room looks terrible because, you know, I'm using these huge things. I might actually make it so that the text is slightly less visible because it doesn't show up on the icons, so why bother? But yeah, this is what I've been doing all day. I think I've been at this for like, I don't know. I'm actually having trouble with it. Can you tell? Good news, everyone. Check this out. I go in here, look, my temporary fog is working. Look, the little bubbles are flying all over the place. It's my temporary fog. The fuck? Shut up before I shit on your bed when you're sleeping! You owe me monsters! Because I exist. I don't know it. Okay. Rations? Shut up! I'm trying to make a video! I'm gonna hurt your feelings! Please, I need to concentrate. I need to make sure I document shit. That way I don't forget, and then I need to not forget so I can actually work. Coding hurts my brain! Okay. Anyway. This is placeholder shit. It's just rendering a bunch of circles, that way it could show you, hey, that's what that's supposed to do. Later on, it'll be replaced with possibly a graphic design by me, or if I have the ability to, I don't know, Mode 7 some fucking fog like they did in Castlevania, where they drew like a graphic and they wibble wobbled it all over the fucking place anyways. Okay, so what does this one do? Well, it's supposed to make the room pitch black and only show the player's eyes. I haven't programmed the player's eyes part. Right here, when you're in this room, it changes the general sprite. All of it. It changes it to cold, so it makes it colder. What do you think that does? Does the same thing, just in warmth. Alright, cool. And then you go down here, what does this do? It's a dark room, it's spooky, isn't it? It's so scary. Okay, give me a second, I'm gonna walk to the other side of the room. This one's supposed to shake, haven't done it yet. This one right here is using temporary graphics again. It's rain, can you see it? So, yeah, that's the progress so far. Not certain if I mentioned this in parts of this video prior, but one of the reasons why I need the earthquake situation to happen is because it's an end game scenario, or it could also be triggered anywhere in the game. There'll be varying degrees of earthquakes, but I wanted you to be able to trigger it by clicking on something, and then that triggers a scenario. So what I had to do to test it out is if I could actually trigger it. So if you press the T button, it triggers